The outside world might be overwhelming right now. It might be really affecting your inner peace, your equilibrium, but that's exactly what's supposed to be happening right now. And you have some choices to make right now that will impact what timeline you enter into right now and what your future is going to look like. This is what you need to know about this full moon, August 22nd in Aquarius 2021. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, self-development, so much more. And I'm back today with a full moon in Aquarius energy reading. Now because we just recently had a full moon in Aquarius, that energy is kind of carrying over into this month. So that's what we talk about today. I want to remind you, if you haven't already, I'm sure you just forgot, please subscribe and also click that little bell button so you get notified every time I do one of these energy readings, and you can be prepared for the half of the month with that energy reading. You know how to navigate this human experience more gracefully. Let's get started. Okay, my loves, so today I want to talk to you about the full moon energy that we are experiencing this August. Again, like our last full moon, it is in Aquarius. So a lot of what was happening and what was starting in the last full moon is still ongoing. And we're going to see a lot of that because we are I see it as kind of like this overlap into the age of Aquarius. And with the continuation of all this Aquarian energy, we're already seeing massive uprisings, literal governments being overthrown, all the things that we saw and figured would happen with all this Saturn, Aquarius, rebellious energy that has to do with government and with systems. That's all happening, and we can expect that to continue on. I want to kind of talk about the general energies that we can all tap into right now and going into the rest of the year, really, or at least the next few 3 or 4 months. We're going to see, like I was saying, on the macro, on the big scale, we're going to see a continuation of these uprisings, of kind of like the way that our perception of what the world used to be for the last 2 years now has been completely, or at least a year and a half, has completely been breaking apart. And society is going to continue on this trend. The old paradigm is falling. What's going to replace it? That's completely up to us, to the ones who have awakened. And we're going to see a lot more people awakening and going through this cycle of transformation where they begin to understand that everything that they thought was true isn't true. And what we thought would be our future, just because of how the past was, isn't necessarily going to be that way. What's going to replace the old paradigm? It's up to us. And what I'm calling for and what I'm feeling is, of course, it's so important. It is crucial for us to organize, get together, and make ourselves heard and put ourselves out there and create connections and create new systems. But what's really important and what I feel like we're all really losing track of, especially when all these crazy things happen in the news, you know, so much is being thrown at us. We have so much to absorb and to consume. At this time, in this very moment, what we really need to be doing is inner cultivation. And without that inner cultivation, we're not going to be able to access this better, newer paradigm. Not this new world, right? That's not, I know what connotation that has, but this new earth, really. And this is something that I've been picking up on for a long time now, and that is that the need for us to remember the importance of our individual human experience, of what's happening inside of us. Because what happens inside of us is going to be reflected on the outside. And right now, I feel that a lot of us are living in this kind of fight, flight, freeze mentality, kind of in our autonomic nervous system, super activated, and we're forgetting the importance of going inwards, of that stillness, that peace. Now, this is actually a part of this whole plan, a part of everything happening on the outer world. What's going on in the external environment right now is meant to deter you from your personal mission. It is meant to distract you. So it's again up to us to decide, will we allow this to distract us? Will we allow ourselves to forget ourselves and to just completely be taken by the world? There's a saying, it's program or be programmed. And it's kind of like, who's going to live your life for you right now? If you're like me, you potentially have been super affected by all the really violent, horrific, and pretty scary things that are happening in the world right now. I've been carrying it with me deeply for the last few weeks, and around this full moon, we're going to feel that even more. In fact, for the next few months, we're going to feel as if we're again in that pressure cooker, how we kind of were in 2020 and around May, June, July 2020. There's going to be some sort of pressure cooker of events, also some sort of cycle returning back to that time. Maybe more demonstration for freedom, maybe more desire for justice and equality. We're going to return to that kind of place, and it's going to feel like a pressure cooker. But this pressure cooker is good for you right now. So there are two things that you can be doing while you're experiencing this pressure. You could be losing yourself and resisting it. Like, I don't want to feel this. This feels too hard. There's too much going on. I don't want to feel this. Or you can allow yourself to cook, and cook slowly and gradually, and observe that cooking. Observe what's happening inside of you, and know that there's a reason and there's a purpose for this. There's some sort of transformation happening inside of you right now that is being reflected by the outside. Rather than resisting it, rather than resisting those negative emotions and those negative feelings, become curious about them. Kind of analyze them and observe them as if you are a scientist or a researcher, and you're kind of almost detached from it, and you're just looking like, okay, where is this going to take me? Now, what we're going to really be needing at this time is a shift in perspective, and that detachment. And it's not like a cool, standoffish detachment from what's going on in the world. It's more like, well, I have to prioritize what's happening in my inner world right now, what's going on inside of me. Because whatever is going on inside of me is going to affect that outer world and that outer reality. So a law outside is going to influence a law inside of you, but it is up to you to decide in what way it influences it. It's also up to you to shut the door, to pull down the blinds and be like, okay, there's a lot happening that I am I'm not physically there, and I can't physically be of assistance. All I can do is live my life as an example. My life can be my message. I think Gandhi said that. I can live in a way that's going to be of the betterment of mankind. And I think that is so lost these days. But people don't seem to realize how significant you smiling at a stranger and getting that smile back is for the energetics and the subtle energy of the world. It's these energy attunements, and little by little, gradually and then all at once, that changes reality. So what you do in your individual life is so significant. It's so crucial to this awakening that the world is going through. And I know that it doesn't seem like an awakening anymore. I know that it seems like people are more separate and not understanding of each other than ever. But believe it or not, this is still the divine plan. It's still all going according to plan. The cosmic drama is still unfolding, and something is really going to come out of this. And we can't give up. We can't lose hope, because once we lose hope, we also give away our agency, and we allow for potentially malevolent forces to decide what new paradigm is going to replace the old one. And that's up for us to decide. And it starts on your individual mission. So you're going to feel a lot of pressure in the next few months, starting and potentially has already started for you before the full moon, but it's going to kind of boil over once the full moon comes in on August the 22nd. So what can you do about this? This is the good thing. When I was tapping into all this energy and also looking at the astrological and numerological aspects of what's happening right now, I felt a little bit defeated, and I really kind of withdrew into myself, and I was like, okay, there's a little bit of a negative energy happening here. So what now? And I asked the universe, and I asked my deep self. I connected with my deep self, and that deep self connects with the higher infinite intelligence, all that is, right? That's source consciousness. That's what channeling is. And I said, I feel defeated. What is the message I can give today? It's going to feel so disempowering if I just talk about the cosmological energies happening right now. And I got the answer, and the answer was that what's happening is not necessarily bad. Actually, nothing that happens is necessarily bad. It's the perspective that we give it. And what's going to change reality really is going to be your eyes, how you look at things. If you look at things as everything is death and destruction and burning down, that is what's going to continuously show up in the world. If we see this as a rebirth, if we see this as opportunity, you're going to see your reality shift little by little, like I was saying, gradually and then all at once, until everything is going to be solved. And I really got this message that actually really good fortune is coming for us all, especially for the ones who are willing to look at it and willing to see it. So I'm asking you to go and look outside, look within yourself and ask for messages and ask for symbolism. Ask the universe for synchronicities. Say, am I on the right path? Show me numbers, show me animals. When you see a certain animal that you haven't seen in a while, look into what that means. Don't be afraid of a black cat across the road, because in many cultures that means something different, right? Because today, just this morning, a cat crossed the road a black cat crossed the road while I was on my morning walk. And at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna be very wary of what that means in my life. And then I came home and I pulled open a book about animal symbolism, and actually I found out that the superstition really is that if it goes from the left to the right, the black cat is actually good luck. So also these symbols, go within yourself or go to trusted sources to find out what they mean for you. They're really significant right now. I asked for symbolism and for synchronicities for the collective, for all of us, what we can expect. And what I got is that inner cultivation and releasing that pressure a little bit through things that make you happy is actually going to steer you towards the most positive, optimal timeline. No matter what it looks like outside, inside, inner cultivation is going to get you to exactly where you want to be. And you're going to see a lot of good luck coming for you. I'm getting a lot of good fortune, abundance, prosperity, feelings for the ones who choose to see the world with that perspective. It's actually your choice. Your choice, your word, your thoughts, that's your wand. So yes, the outer world is going to test you, and it's meant to. It's meant to distract you from that reality cultivation that you are endowed with, that you are able to do. You are able to choose what's going to happen in your future. You don't need a psychic. You don't need anybody to tell you. It's your decision. And that decision is little by little by little. Are you going to go on Twitter like I tend to do sometimes and see all the bad that's happening in the world and think, okay, well, doom and all this negative stuff is going to happen. What's the point of anything? Or are you going to shut off that stream of distraction and negative information and come back to yourself? Come back to that inner balanced place of heart-centered knowing that everything is going according to plan and everything was going to be okay, and you can control reality and your experience with reality when you return here, when you go inside and then listen to that deep self and see where it takes you. I also picked up that during this time, the full moon especially, it's really important for us to start to rely more on ourselves, our immediate support system, and our friends and family, if we are able to, if we have that kind of system, right? Rather than relying on a government, a big brother, somebody else taking care of you, somebody that doesn't know you taking care of you. It's time to return to community. It's time to create stronger connections in your life. That could be online. That doesn't necessarily have to be in person, but it's very important to kind of cultivate that spirit soul family right now. When it comes to warnings, around the full moon, I recommend lowering alcohol consumption if you can potentially just not drink around the full moon, and lower your caffeine consumption right now. It's going to really allow you to kind of turn on the parasympathetic nervous system, not really be in that autonomic nervous system all day long, and it's going to bring you back to yourself. We want to avoid being impulsive right now. There's going to be kind of a desire to make impulsive decisions. These will not end up so good for us. There's a difference between being impulsive and listening to your intuition and acting on your intuition. Remember that intuition is graceful, quiet, strong, while the ego, fear, impulse really comes from this anxious place. The overall message that I want to share for this full moon, for the energy that's happening right here, is if you're feeling like under so much pressure, if you're overwhelmed by everything happening in the world or in your inner life, that's normal. Do whatever you can to release pressure right now. Go on walks, deep breathing right now. Deep belly breaths, always through the nose, in and out through the nose. The nose is meant for breathing. That's going to save us right now, okay? It's going to release that pressure. When you move the scope of attention away from the outer world, from all the negative, and back to yourself, this is going to allow for a lot of spiritual growth. You're going to see a lot of expansion in your life, especially in relation to your spiritual growth, to your mental capacities and your mental health, all through this time into next month's new moon. Next month's new moon is going to feel really good for all of us, a lot lighter. All right, my loves, that was the energy reading for the full moon in Aquarius, August 2021. If you like these energy readings, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what resonated and what didn't resonate with you in the comments below. Your feedback means a lot to me. You guys know by now, I read all your comments. I really do. So be nice to me, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.